Hello everyone, my name is Jason Girdner. I'm the CEO of TECOBI, and today we're doing a webinar to discuss some new pricing that we launched. We've got an individual package and an enterprise package that allows for the use of our software without combining it with Facebook ads. But I'm going to give a couple minutes for people to join into the webinar. So I'm going to give a little bit of a backstory on myself and how TECOBI came into existence. I've been in the car business for I'm in my 21st year in the car business. I started in 2001 telemarketing car dealerships. I sat in a little tiny cubicle, called about 200 car dealers a day, selling a loan by phone hotline that allowed car dealers to take credit applications over the phone, and then we would fax that credit application into the dealership. Throughout my entire career, I've worked with lead generation, technology products, and teams of people to set appointments for customers to go into stores to purchase a vehicle. 6 years ago when we started TECOBI, I had the idea of texting and knew that dealers weren't really utilizing text messages as much as they should have. So I built a text messaging platform, and then one of my clients mentioned Facebook advertising and that we should connect this texting platform to Facebook. And that's how Facebook came about. So for the beginning of TECOBI, we only did Facebook advertising combined with our platform. Leads would come off of Facebook, and then we'd use our texting platform to follow up and text and communicate with those leads. Scarlett, my wife, and I started that in our home office. We grew that to an office in our first year. We got a ton of business coming in, and then we started to lose all of those clients over that second year in business. I got down to about 40 clients after having almost 200. We were sitting in the office wondering why wasn't this working, and I had a credit card that had a $20,000 balance on it, and I looked at Scarlett and I said, honey, I can either use this money to advertise, or I could use this money to travel the country and figure out what's working, what's not working, and what's wrong. So I decided to take option two. I started booking trips to all of our clients that were utilizing the software successfully, and even to some clients that were utilizing it unsuccessfully to figure out what was wrong. What I saw over and over again, I'd sat in sales meeting after sales meeting, and I saw dealerships forcing their team to make arbitrary phone calls. They had some kind of number on it, 40, 50, 60 calls. The sales managers always were, jumping on their team about making those phone calls, and then the sales team would go out, sit at their computer, and kind of look like a deer in headlights because they didn't know who to call. And they knew that if they called someone, it was more than likely going to result in them not answering the phone. So we noticed that, hey, out of 40, 50 calls, the salesperson was lucky to get 1 or 2 people to actually answer the phone. And I realized how broken the follow-up process was in the car business, and actually with CRMs in general, whether it be Salesforce or a car-specific CRM like Vin Solutions. That's how TECOBI came about. We spent the third year in business trying to figure out how to fix that problem. We built processes and procedures and adjusted our onboarding process to fix the problem of follow-up. Facebook leads naturally generated a massive amount of follow-up that was required. Most leads in the car business are what we call in-market shoppers. They're people at the bottom of the funnel, people that have been out looking for a vehicle, and they've made up their mind to buy a car, and it's just coming down to which dealership they're going to purchase from. When we started advertising on Facebook for dealerships, we were going after a broad audience targeting and driving people into the market, and a lot of those customers that were submitting their information through Facebook and Instagram, this was the first time that they were submitting their information, and it took some follow-up to actually get them into a car. We realized that the CRM processes that existed in the car business at the time were focused on a low funnel in-market shopper, and when you start putting Facebook leads in there of customers that weren't necessarily ready to purchase right now, it really broke the process, so we had to rethink follow-up and how that works. So I want to explain real quick how we look at follow-up inside of TECOBI before I go into the pricing. I always use this ping pong table analogy. So I want you guys to imagine a ping pong table. The way sales works is basically just a question and answer game. So over here we've got the dealership, over here we've got the customer. We ask a question, what kind of car are you looking for? The customer gives us an answer, I need a truck. Do you have anything to trade in? I've got an F-150. How many miles does it have? 60,000 miles. Do you need financing? Yes, I need financing. Do you have a cosigner? No, I don't. Can you come in on Saturday? And we ask these questions, and the customer answers, and we step them through the process of buying a car. If you strip out all of the fancy stuff in sales, all the word tracks, and you break it down to its most true form, it literally is just a question and answer game. So often what happens is we ask that question, and then the customer doesn't reply. They ghost us. So for example, if I say, hey, what do you think about this trade offer? And then the customer stops answering our phone calls, stops answering emails, text messages, whatever it is, they're a ghost. This happens at all points throughout the car buying process. How many times have you gotten a new lead, you call it within a couple minutes of it coming in, and the customer doesn't answer the phone? You know that they just submitted their information, you call them within 1 minute, customer's not answering the phone. Why not? How many times have you had a customer complete a full detailed credit application, and then the customer doesn't answer the phone, and you're sitting there scratching your head wondering, why aren't they answering the phone? They just gave me their social security number, permission to run their credit. I've always said something as a sales manager, managing salespeople, it's not the people that tell us no that are the problem, it's the people who don't tell us no. It's the people who don't want to answer the phone and say, hey, my wife said I can't purchase a car right now, or hey, I want to save up another $2,000. They're afraid to pick up the phone and tell a salesperson no. It's just natural that humans don't like the word no, so we try to avoid the word no. And what happens when you deal with thousands and thousands of leads is that group of people who aren't answering the phone to say I'm not ready or no really starts to grow, and it starts to overwhelm your follow-up process. And what has to happen is your salesperson, a manager, your process, something has to make the business decision of when I'm going to stop following up with that customer. I want to show you a report real quick, and Gabe's monitoring the computer for me. So Gabe, go ahead and switch over to the TECOBI platform with the report. So what we're looking at here is an ad campaign that ran in April of 2020. So this ad campaign's about 1.5 years old, and it's a Facebook ad campaign, and there was $2,625 spent on that ad campaign. There was 467 leads, 149 appointments, 75 shows, and 38 cars sold at $69 a car. If you know anything about the car business, you know that $69 a car in advertising is extremely low. But what I want to do is show you, more importantly, when those car deals came out of those leads. So go ahead and click on that 38 right there for me, Gabe. This graph shows, with extensive follow-up that TECOBI provides, we're able to maximize the car deals that we get out of those leads. So it's been about 1.5 years. Month 1 in April, we got 1 car deal out of those 467 leads. We continued to follow up with them. We got 7 more car deals. Next month we got 6. Next month we got 3. And if you go all the way to the end here, Gabe, August of 2021, so this month we pulled 1 more car deal out of the leads that were generated from April of 2020. So if you look at this, and the dealership usually has about a 30-day follow-up window if we're lucky. Most dealerships it's like a week, or if I don't answer the phone 1 or 2 times, you're bouncing on me and you're moving forward. Most of the car deals would have been missed inside of this particular ad campaign that ran in April of 2020. Now, to follow up with leads that long, you have to rethink your follow-up process. How am I able to follow up that long with leads without overwhelming my staff or my systems and my processes in place? So what we've developed is a way to touch and text message and follow up with what we call the working pipeline. So going back to that ping pong table, working pipeline is anyone that we've asked a question and we're waiting for them to reply. They've turned into a ghost. Instead of manually going through those one at a time like you would in a traditional CRM, you're able to go into TECOBI, and if you come back up here, Gabe, to back, and we go to blast, and lead blast, and let's hit the plus sign right here. and hit skip presets. And you're able to filter down to what parts of the pipeline that you want to follow up with. Go ahead and hit advanced options. Click advanced options right here. And let's go to credit stage. And let's say they have given us credit. So let's say we've got a group of customers that have given us a credit application and we're waiting for them to move to the next step. You can come in here and you can filter down to customers that are in that stage, and we can see this dealership has 75 of them that are in that stage, and I can send out one mass text message to text message those customers instead of manually going through and following up one person at a time. People don't answer your phone calls. Today's Monday morning, it's a great example. We could send a text message to a client's database, say there's 3,000 or 4,000 people in their database, and we would normally get a 7 to 10% reply rate. So instead of your team sitting down and chasing customers that aren't answering the phones, you come in and a desk manager sends out a quick re-engagement text message. Go ahead and take that credit stage off so we can see the size of this pipeline. Hit any. Okay. So this pipeline has about 3,046 customers in it. Normally we see close to a 10% reply rate. So imagine 300 customers that you're asking, hey, are you still looking for a vehicle? Hey, you ready to move to the next step? Hey, can you come in this weekend? You're asking some re-engagement question with a 10% reply rate. It's going to give you 300 customers that your team can start working today instead of chasing the customers that are no longer answering the phone with them. That's how we're able to create extreme efficiency in follow-up, is because you're no longer having to pay a BDC person, you're no longer having to pay a salesperson, you're no longer having to pay people to do this follow-up, and you're doing it in mass through the texting platform. Text messages, 97% of them are read within 3 minutes of being received. Your message is going to get through to the customer. They're going to read that text message, and 97% of them are going to read them in the first 3 minutes. And if it's the most efficient and effective way for you to follow up with leads. Emails aren't getting into inboxes anymore. Customers can't answer the phone Monday morning at 10 a.m. So sending a text message is logically the best way for you to follow up with your pipeline. And that's the problem that we solved with Facebook leads. We were kind of forced into solving this problem because we were generating so many Facebook leads that were breaking the in-market shopper funnel that the dealerships have set up, and we had to create a better way of following up. So about 2 years ago, we started allowing our clients to send us leads from other lead providers. So right now we receive leads from hundreds of different lead providers, everything from cars.com, Auto Trader, KBB, website leads, you name it. We receive leads from just about every lead provider that's out there. We realize that this problem doesn't just exist in Facebook leads, it exists in all of your leads. You know, and if you're watching this video right now, you definitely know that your team is unable to follow up with leads for the proper amount of time to maximize your ROI. We realized that this was happening in all the other leads, but we were still requiring clients to spend money with us on Facebook. We wanted to really control the process so that we could understand exactly what it took to create the best conversion funnel that we could build. And today we're actually going to launch pricing that allows dealers to use us as a CRM, if you will. I don't like calling it a CRM. We call it TECOBI, but it's not really a CRM. It's basically a contact machine. It's built for finding customers that want to talk today. So every day you come in, you do a text blast, you find a bunch of people that you can contact and talk to today to try and sell them a car. We've been asked over the years countless times to release an individual package. I've been almost to the point of begging, can you release an individual package? Release an individual package. So we've actually released that today. And for individuals, if you're a salesperson at a dealership that takes your job seriously and you want to be able to have your own way to follow up with leads, we've got an individual package that starts at $495 a month, and it's got a $495 one-time setup fee. $495 a month is going to give you the ability to touch 500 customers a day in follow-up. The way we control our cost is by limiting how many customers you can blast at one time. The package does come with unlimited calls and unlimited text messages, but on that package you would only be able to touch about 500 customers through the blasting per business day. That's going to give you, at a 10% reply rate, 50 customers to talk to today if you've got 500 customers that are in your working pipeline. You build your working pipeline of customers with the ping pong ball on their side of the table, and today when you come in, you send your 500 text messages and you find 30 to 50 customers that are wanting to talk and move to the next step in the process. This particular package is also going to include our calendaring tool. Calendaring tool is basically a way for you to set your schedule and send a link to a customer for them to pick out the time that's going to work best for you and for them. Scheduling in the car business has always been kind of difficult. You don't want to schedule on top of other customers that are in the store. So the calendaring tool I've actually got pulled up here if you want to click on that tab for me. Once you've got your schedule in place, you'll have something that looks like this that you can text out to your customer, and it's going to have the times that you're available for their test drive or for their in-person visit, or even a video conference visit if you want to do video conferences with COVID taking place. So you can see here that we've got 11:30. Go ahead and click on 12 p.m. The customer say, hey, I want to be there at 12. They would enter their name. There wouldn't be a company name. I'm logged in my account. There would be company name and title. And you would probably already have their name, cell phone, and email. So they would just pick their time, confirm their appointment. That adds it to your calendar, and it also adds it to their calendar, which is going to provide a way for them to schedule around times that you're available. So go ahead and come back to pricing. So it's going to include that calendaring tool. It also includes our video conference software. Our video conference software is very similar to GoToMeeting or WebEx, except for it's one that you have control of. It's easy to text out to the customer. You can schedule video conferences with them. It records the video conference and places it inside of the lead so that you can always come back and reference that video conference and what was said to the customer. It's also going to come with our credit application tool. So if you want to be able to capture credit applications on customers and be able to turn those into the desk, you can do so. It comes with pause messages. So pause messages are a very important part of building a pipeline inside of TECOBI. The way a pause message works, let's say a customer says, hey, I'm going to be out of town until Friday. Well, we don't want to be blasting them every day. It's just going to be annoying the customer. We want to make sure that we're not blasting them with our daily follow-up. So you would basically set a pause message to go out on Friday. That sends up a text message on Friday at whatever time you choose saying, hey, are you back in town? Which hits the ping pong ball back to the customer side of the table. And then if they don't reply, they fall into your normal follow-up that you're doing each day. And it comes with that. It comes with the mass follow-up. It also comes with surveys. If you want to survey your customers after you've marked them sold inside of TECOBI, you're going to be able to send a survey out and have a survey sent out to them, maybe to catch some CSI issues that you might be running into before your dealership does, or before they get their survey. You can have those surveys sent out to see if they were happy with the experience that they had with you. CSI is very important for many of you, so being able to survey your customers is a pretty good tool. So $495 a month and $495 one-time setup fee in order to get started on that package. Now the next new pricing that we have is going to be the enterprise package. So if you go ahead and scroll up, as I mentioned before, previously we forced dealers to use us for Facebook marketing, and we were more of a lead generation tool or a marketing agency than a software company. We're transitioning into a pure software company. You can purchase our services without having to advertise with us, without having to run Facebook ads. And I'm going to go over that pricing a little bit, make sure everyone understands how that pricing works. So each one of these three packages comes with a daily blast limit. So you've got the TECOBI 1000, TECOBI 2500, and TECOBI 5000. The TECOBI 1000 comes with 1,000 blast limit each day. You can send a text message to up to 1,000 customers per day in your follow-up blasting tool. The TECOBI 2500 comes with a $2,500 blast limit. So you can send up to 2,500, and then TECOBI 5000, you can blast up to 5,000 follow-up messages per day. $995 is our base price here with a $995 setup fee. So you can get started with your dealership at $995 a month. It's no longer the $5,000 or $6,000 or $10,000 that you'd normally have to pay to get started with us. You can start at $995, push your own leads into the software, give your entire sales team access to TECOBI so that they can utilize it to better follow up with their customers. Two things that are added on this package is going to be inventory. We will integrate your inventory into the software so that you have your inventory and it can be searched and sent to customers and be able to provide that inventory and keep vehicles of interest. And we'll also have DMS access so that we can track sold units inside the system. It's important to track customers that have purchased, and you can also track your ROI because we're pulling in your front and back gross, and you can see what those lead providers are providing as far as ROI. It also includes everything that I went over in the individual package. The main additions are going to be your inventory and DMS, and it's essentially the same across these packages, with the only variable being how many text messages you can send on your daily blast. It's unlimited calls and text, but it does come with a limit on your daily blast and how many text messages can be sent. These packages do not include Facebook marketing, and it does not include our Text Ninjas. You can use our software without our Text Ninjas to assist you. There's some add-ons that you can add to these packages. So if we scroll all the way down to the bottom, right here we've got our add-ons. So our Text Ninjas, they're not really BDC. They are there to assist your sales team or your BDC team at getting basic questions answered and TOing a lead to a phone call. So a Text Ninja can ask, hey, do you need financing? Send a credit application. They can ask, what kind of vehicle are you driving? Get some information on their trade, and then TO that customer up for a phone call to your sales team or your BDC team. That is going to make your team hyper efficient. It will allow you to let them focus on just making phone calls and doing less work inside of the system sending text messages. What we're going to charge on that is $3 per lead that you add into the software. So if you add 100 leads this month, it's going to be an extra $300. You actually get humans that are going to be able to TO over to your team when we're realizing that it's time to make a phone call to a lead. To add phone support, so the Text Ninjas do not pick up the phone. You may want someone on the phone. Maybe you got a sales team that's pretty weak. They're not really good at making phone calls. Maybe they don't have much training, and you want to have them focused on customers that are actually walking in the front door. We can actually put our skilled phone ninjas on the phone with you guys, for you guys. They're trained by Andy Elliott's team. They receive massive training on how to convert into appointments, and that would be $8 per lead that's added into the system. It's either $3 or $8. It's not plus. So for $8, you do get the Text Ninja support. The Text Ninjas are just TOing to our phone people instead of your phone people. So if you add 100 leads into the software, it's $800. You get to eliminate the fact that you have to struggle with your guys to be able to make phone calls on leads. And then last but not least, if you want to run Facebook ads with us, we take 20% of the ad spend. The reason you'd want to spend your Facebook budget with us is we have a massive amount of data. There's no one in the car business that has more data when it comes to conversion on Facebook and Instagram leads as us. Our ads team are skilled experts at coming in, analyzing your advertising strategy, and putting together ads that are going to convert for your dealership. And we charge 20% of that. So if you spend $10,000, we'll take $2,000 of it, $8,000 of it goes to Facebook, and you get a skilled expert who's going to make sure that the ads are going to convert for your store, in your market, for the type of customer that you're looking for. If you have co-op, we can also put together co-op to help you with that need as well. And your ads person's responsible for working with co-op and getting all the documents together and submit it, and you submit them to your OEM for co-op reimbursement. These are the new packages that we're releasing. Any of our current clients that want to sign up on this, we're more than happy to welcome you to this. In some cases, it's going to make sense. In most cases, it's probably not going to make sense, and you're grandfathered into the pricing that you have. These packages do require a 24-month commitment. So it's 24 months of service in order to sign up with this. If you're interested, you're just going to go to our website and you're going to hit the Text Us button on the bottom left, and you can get started talking to our sales team. What I'm going to announce on this webinar is the first 25 dealers or individuals to sign up, whether it's an individual or a dealer, we are going to waive your setup fee. We've had a lot of interest in this. We've already got a lot of dealers signed up on it already, but starting right now until the next 25 dealers that sign up on the new pricing, we will waive your setup fee as well. So make sure that you're going to the Text Us button, putting in your first name, your last name, and your cell phone number. Let's get a full detailed demo They can go through all the features inside of the software. There's a lot of features that are in the software that were not mentioned inside of this webinar. But I want to make sure that you know that the first 25 dealers to sign up, we're waiving the setup fee so that there's no setup fee for you. So what I'm going to do now is if you have any questions, go ahead and drop them in the question box. It doesn't look like we've got a ton of questions in here today, so I'm just going to go ahead and wrap it up. I appreciate everyone for joining. If you need a demo, hit the text us button, get started with our sales team. Make it a great day. Let's sell some cars this week.